Like the title of this video says, I really view this lifestyle as giving me 100 plus days of vacation every year because of the weekends. When you are waking up in a brand new place, there's just different energy. There's a different zest for life. And I find that it makes me go out and do a lot more things in the weekend that I wouldn't necessarily do back home. When I think of my life in Ohio or in Florida, where I lived for many years, the weekends were just filled with admin. I don't know, or just recovering and recuperating from a life that was pretty crappy in some ways. Just like the constant grind, the 9 to 5, the kind of mentality that I was in, and the mentality that all the people around me were in. And now I find that I go out and actually do things on the weekend. They don't have to be big things. Sometimes it's literally just getting the groceries, but the groceries are in a different country and everything is different. And it's an adventure to kind of figure that all out. But this way of thinking definitely is not, the norm. I remember being in Fort Lauderdale working in an office, the last real office that I ever worked in before going remote. And I remember talking about this to my boss 'cause I was trying to get him to let me go remote. And he had said, you know, what's the draw about living somewhere else or working somewhere else? Or, like, kind of like, what makes you want to leave this? And it was like, well, I mean, I don't know. I've just never been an office person, just never been an office person. But I remember telling him, I said this back then before I'd even gotten out. I said, it's just the draw of having weekends in a foreign country to go and do new and exciting things or even boring things, but they're just different because they're new. Um, you don't have to travel to go on vacation just 10 days a year. You're waking up and you're in a new place and you can go out and take advantage of that on the weekends. I think of this past weekend, for example. So, a friend and I, just life gets a bit much sometimes and you need a break, you need a reset. And I feel like in real life, back home, and when I say back home, I'm referring to like, almost 10 years ago now before I got into this. But there was just always extra stuff that needed doing on the weekend. But now with simplifying my life, I have, the weekends just feel a lot freer because I have, been working from home for almost 10 years now. I my expenses and the things that I need to do are all kind of bundled together in the Airbnbs where I live. There's not a whole lot of extra life admin beyond getting groceries and keeping the house tidy, keeping the house clean and stuff. So there's a lot more free time. But my friend and I, we went to this tiny house that sits at the foot of Cotopaxi volcano, and we just sat. We just sat for a whole weekend. There's no cell service out there. We'd been maybe 5 years ago, and I've been wanting to go back. And yeah, we sat and we watched the fire. We watched the rain. Slept a lot, lots of naps. Um, Journaled a bit, talked a lot, but there was no interruptions, no real life calling kind of thing. And I think it's so important to just have those times where you can just disconnect completely and reset. And if you're going to do it, why not do it in absolutely stunning location? And I just think about how that is my life now, and that is anybody's life, right? When they are able to move abroad and just kind of take advantage of these things that would not be possible. Many people have probably stayed at that Airbnb that we were at, but for many people, it's a journey, it's a trek, it's a fly for 10 hours and then make their way there and then enjoy a few days there, but you're already thinking about where you're going next and then getting back home and then starting real life again and all that kind of stuff. Whereas for us, it was just a weekend away, hour and a half, well, about 2 hour drive, and there, relax, hang out, wonder if we're going to see the mountain through all the rain and stuff, and then enjoy when it did, go for a little walk, put all our stuff in the car, come back to where we live. And it's just that kind of freedom that really, um, that I can't recommend enough, I guess, about this lifestyle. The freedom to go and do something that for other people might be a once in a lifetime experience. But for you, it's just the weekend in a new place because there's so much. Like Friday, we left on Friday, we came back Sunday, and it felt like a week. Partly because of the no cell service. So when you're out there just watching time go by, I think it does slow down a little bit. But it was restorative and it was peaceful. And even this morning, I'm out on my walk and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm going for a walk in Ecuador. I'm going for a walk in Ecuador. Me 10 years ago would have been like, that's unreal. It's unbelievable. Like it's a dream achieved. But then it becomes quite normal in a good way. In a good way. But yeah, I just want to offer that up as a thought, um, as something for you to ponder as you may be considering this lifestyle of all of the different things that you could do in a weekend with those extra, they switch from being weekend days to vacation days, extra 2 vacation days every week. What are you going to do with those? Because you've taken most of the things that you're supposed to be doing kind of as a grown up and all the admin, and you've just condensed it down and made life very simple so that those 2 days do end up being quite free to do whatever you choose to do with them.